bringing a different kind of video, and unfortunately it's one that has to be made. We have to talk about this. As you can see in the title and thumbnail of this video, do not do this. Not the grading part. Definitely keep grading if you want to grade. That's not what we're talking about today. What I'm talking about is do not open these. For the love of God, do not open these. There's no holo inside. I'm telling you this like 10 seconds into this video. If you come across a graded PSA slab for vintage Pokemon packs, there is no holo inside these. So kind of explain context in case you have no idea what I'm talking about. There's been a situation that happened recently. It was Aiden Ross who got his hands on a first edition base set PSA 10 slab, and he cracked open the $10,000 slab that he just paid for and pulled non-holos.
This is a $10,000 Pokemon pack that I'm going to open on stream.
And the same thing what happened with Ludwig a couple months ago, where I believe he was opening every single Pokemon pack, and he had a Venusaur Art first edition Shadowless base set pack, PSA 10, cracked it open, and I believe he got like an item finder or something.
One of the most expensive Pokemon cards in the world is a first edition Shadowless holographic Charizard, and there is no older or more valuable pack than this one. And so after a little peer pressure from chat, I decided to open it. Magikarp, was it worth cracking a $10,000 pack?
So to kind of explain what's going on here is these are not exactly the cheapest packs to get. On top of that, they're not exactly easy to find. Whenever base set first edition Shadowless pack breaks happen, you're not just gonna blindly open the pack, unless I guess you're a millionaire or a billionaire, in which case you don't really care. But in general, the average collector, if they get their hands on these packs, granted if they're not like, you know, like those box break streams and stuff like that, if they get their hands on those packs, they're going to weigh them first. And if they see that the weight is low, they're not opening them. That's what happened with me. I got these actually from PokeRev's box break back in like 2020, so super old. And unfortunately, I lost the lottery because when I bought my packs, they were light, which means they're not getting opened. Kind of explain light and heavy as well, be as simple as possible. When you open up a vintage Pokemon booster box, you get 36 packs. Of those 36, 12 are holo. The other 24 are going to be non-holo. So like in base set situation, you get like a Pidgeotto, a Pokemon breeder, Pokemon trader, yada, 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 yada. But then you also get 12 holos, which consists of like Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, the good stuff, what you want to pull. What happens is you compare the weight of the heavy packs to the lighter ones, and that's how you can kind of guarantee if a pack is going to have a holographic. The average weight, and by the way, don't take this as like 1,000% fact, because sometimes weights do vary. The average like lower weight is like 20.4 grams, 20.6, 20.8 grams. And then the heavier ones usually are like the 21 plus side. I've seen them go as high as like 21.4. I've seen them sometimes be 20.9. But again, the only way to compare it is if you compare it to the other light packs in a box. Because sometimes certain boxes have a different print or something like that. So they end up being somewhat lighter. So again, if you take 36 packs, 12 are going to be heavier, and those are where the holos are going to be. So what happens is whenever these, you know, box breaks happen, people will always weigh them when they obtain them. And if they see that it's a heavy weight, they're going to open it with a chance of pulling the highly coveted Charizard. The other 24 packs, they get put away in a box where it's part of your sealed collection forever. Or in my situation, I got them graded because I'm not going to lie, they look kind of clean in these slabs. You know, the old slabs that PSA used to have are awful, but these look kind of nice. This is preserved forever. This is always going to be my collection, reminding me of a time that was once pure, my childhood. Never opening these. But even had a chance to open it, I'm still not doing it because I know there's nothing inside. But like I said, unfortunately, Aiden Ross, Ludwig, not knocking them, by the way, I'm just trying to inform everybody that's watching this video. They got convinced and they ended up pulling nothing. So at any point, if you come across these slabs, just know they were sent to PSA for a reason. And if you want to obtain, you know, the packs themselves, you can always find like the right sources out there. They're not gonna be cheap, obviously. Even if you're getting something as basic as Unlimited base set or like Neo Genesis, Jungle Fossil, those packs are still pretty hard to find. I mean, they're still somewhat common technically because, you know, we see new boxes get found every couple of days. But the older ones like first edition Shadowless base set, not exactly the easiest thing to find. The other thing is another reason why people weigh is since people know that it's not worth opening sometimes. What happens is a lot of times what you might see is someone's going to open up a base set first edition Shadowless box and just weigh it all out and only sell the heavy packs. And then the other 24 packs, their fate is right here. They get sent away to people that either just want to buy like the art sets to collect and put in their safes or whatever, or they get sent away to PSA degrade so they're, you know, permanently protected inside these slabs. That's what happens. But as far as pulling holos in these, you're not going to. You're not going to. Like I said, there's a reason why I graded them. I knew this were not holos. Now, I will point out, You never know if somebody one day woke up and they felt crazy and they cracked open one of these boxes and sent all 36 packs. The chances is probably as low as 0.0001% chance. But if you put these numbers up, if you check the certs, you can see how many of these exist across the board for any set. You're going to notice that 99.999% of those are always going to be light. Because the average person is not doing this. The average person is going to get the heavy packs, weigh them out, make sure that they're heavy, and sell them for a crazy premium. I believe what Aiden paid for these, I think he paid like $10,000 for this slab. I want to say on average, a lighter pack, the last time I checked, this could also be a lot higher now, was about like $4,000 or $5,000. And then the heavier packs end up being anywhere between like $15,000 to $20,000 because, it's got that chance of being, that first edition Shadowless Charizard. And then sometimes what people do is they sell them just straight up as unweighed, where, you watch them literally open the box and then they pick your pack out, they just ship it to you. They might sell those for like $6,000, $8,000, But basically what Aiden did recently, he got sold one of these PSA 10 slabs. And the reason why this costs more is because you're buying essentially a good condition pack. That's what grading is nowadays. Which I always say, by the way, when you buy any graded slab, whether it be a pack or a card, make sure it actually is in good condition, because sometimes just because it says 10 does not mean it might be a 10. There might be like a scratch or something that the grader might have missed that day. Always look at your card from top to bottom. Don't just look at the grade and go, yep, that's good enough for me. But in this situation, he got sold a graded light pack for 10 grand because you're supposed to collect this and just put this in a safe somewhere, and then he opened it because he got convinced to do so. Unfortunately, it happens nowadays. But hopefully, this video reaches the right person in the future that's researching this, and now you watch this, you're like, thanks, Rhyme. I am not going to open this. This is going into my slab. And then you're probably going to be sad because, this was supposed to be the dream pack where you thought Charizard was going to be. But also, like I said, you don't really know until you fully weigh it. You can't really weigh these themselves because the plastic varies. The only way to truly weigh a pack is the pack by itself. And sometimes what people do, and I keep seeing this on eBay, which is kind of scummy, is people will put the pack on like a scale, and you'll see it'll say 21 grams. But when you look at the back, there's like a sticker or something, use like a barcode sticker or something that weighs it down. So the only way to weigh a pack is by itself, nothing else, and you compare it to the other packs in the box. And that's how you can be 100% sure if there's going to be a heavy and a hollow or it's light. Because I've actually bought packs before that were 21 grams, and then they end up being non-hollow because the actual heavy packs were like 21.4, which happens sometimes. Sometimes you get an extra card, sometimes the print ink is a bit different. There's a lot of variables in there. But essentially, if you ever get your hands on a vintage pack in Pokemon, then do your research. Do all the homework, look up all the videos, ask anybody. You can ask me, tweet me at Rhymestyle. Drop me a comment in these videos. If I see it, I will definitely help and answer. Do all your research. But if you end up opening this, again, you're probably going to walk away with a Pokemon trader, Pokemon breeder, Pidgeotto, non-hollow. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And one more thing to also kind of toss in there is a wild card. I'm only referring to vintage Pokemon. The reason why is because obviously the Pokemon company knew that weighing packs was an issue at some point. So that's why they introduced the code cards. Let's just say after the WotC era, so like after Skyridge, they started implementing packs that had like these code cards that kind of like counterweigh light to heavy packs, so you can never really fully weigh them. So if someone has like a graded, like let's say Evolving Skies or what just came out, Journey Together, which I don't know why people were graded, but people grade everything nowadays. You can probably open those and there might be hollow inside, because you can't really fully weigh those. But anything vintage, the classic stuff before Wizards of the Coast, up to Skyridge, from base set to Skyridge, if it's graded, it's light. So yeah. Thank you for coming on TED Talk. That is all the information. This ended up being way longer video than I thought it was. But I want to make sure I cover everything, because unfortunately with every little detail that I miss, I can't come back and add it to the video. I would have to do another video. But at least I covered every little ground that matters. And if I didn't, if I forgot something, by all means feel free to correct me down below. And hopefully, like I said, we can learn some things. And by the way, I plan on doing more videos like this to kind of help people learn stuff. Because Pokemon specifically has been in the boom lately again. There's a lot of like new collectors coming to the scene. And not everyone knows everything, Again, one of the things that I see all the time that's kind of annoying is like, if someone doing like a box break or like, like those streams where like ripping ships, people always say, congrats, PSA 10 is worth $1 million. But they never tell the people, well, not always. Sometimes the actual ripping shipper does tell them, But in general, I usually see someone go, nice, this is $1 billion as a PSA 10, but they don't tell them that usually packs don't have PSA 10s throughout the pack. A lot of times you're gonna get a card that's off center, or you might have like a ding or like a print issues, print lines, especially with the older Wizards of the Coast era cards. So usually when you open up a pack right out or a card right out the pack, it's gonna be like PSA 8, PSA 9, PSA 9, or be just 9.5 quality. Just kind of keep that in mind. So hopefully these educational videos down the line will help people make better decisions and kind of understand the collectibles a lot better. So yeah. All right, that should be everything, I think. I know I missed something. If I missed something, I'm sorry. Again, no disrespect or hate towards the content creators I mentioned, Ludwig and Aiden. I do think they were probably just misled, or not everybody always knows about this stuff. I feel like we don't get enough videos talking about the information side of these things, which is the whole goal of this video. But yeah. But again, also, if you do get one of these slabs and you don't really give a shit, and if you have millions of dollars and you want to crack it open, don't let me stop you. As long as you know what you're likely going to pull, that's the goal of this video. So yeah. And to that one person down the line in the next couple years that opens one of these light packs and it just happens to be the 0.0001% chance where it's actually heavy and they pull a Charizards, you are the chosen one. Go buy a lottery right now. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, I'm gonna end it right here. More content coming soon. And if there's any specific questions you guys have that you want answered in the future, I guess these like informational videos as well, then let me know. But other than that, I guess I'll see you guys in the comments. And yeah, hopefully we don't see these open again in the future. But also, if you pay for it, do what you must. I'll see you guys in the next upload.